Hello everyone. In my previous two videos, I discussed about initiation and elongation steps of prokaryotic replication, the process in which DNA duplicate in bacterial cell. As a representative example, we have take the genome of E. coli cell. We know that in prokaryotic cell, at the start of DNA replication, initiation occur in which replication fork is produced. In replication fork, two DNA strands are separated by melting the hydrogen bonds which is present between two DNA strands with the help of an enzyme called DNAB, which is helicase enzyme. So this DNAB protein move in front of replication fork by separating the two DNA strands. Then these two strands remain away from each other due to action of SSB or single stranded binding protein. This happen in initiation. Now in elongation phase, due to the action of DNA polymerase 3 and RNA primase enzyme, both the strand, this first is leading strand and second is lagging strands, are simultaneously produced. In both the strands, DNA polymerase move in the same directions, but due to polarity problem, leading strand synthesize continuously while lagging strand produce in a short fragment. We call them as a Okazaki fragments. On leading strand, single primer is required. Here you can see, and the primer is RNA fragment of 10 to 12 base pair long. While on lagging strand, here you can see multiple primers are required. At the start of every Okazaki fragment, there is a primer which give 3' OH end to the DNA polymerase 3 on lagging strand. Now, this type of structure is produced during the elongation phase. Now in this lecture I am going to focus on last stage of the DNA replication, that is termination. Okay, but before starting with the termination, I just want to discuss role of DNA polymerase 1 and DNA ligase enzyme in the elongation and termination process. Now we know that elongation is mainly carried out by DNA polymerase 3, as I discussed in my previous video in detail. Now, what is the role of DNA polymerase 1 in the replication process? We know that DNA polymerase 1 have both the type of activity. That means this enzyme have 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. That means enzyme have ability to remove the nucleotide from the DNA strand in 3' to 5' direction. This is called as proofreading activity. And this enzyme also have 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. That means this enzyme can also remove the base in 5' to 3' direction. This is the unique property which is present in DNA polymerase 1, which is absent in polymerase 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this ability is mainly used by DNA polymerase 1 for removing these primers which is present on leading and lagging strand. First thing I have to clear here, that the primer which is present on leading strand is removed by a special enzyme called RNase H. Here you can see capital R N A S E H. RNase H is the enzyme which remove primer from leading strand, while primer from lagging strand is removed by DNA polymerase 1. Okay, so on leading strand, as there is a single primer, no big deal, or no, it is easily removed by RNase H enzyme. The gap which is produced here due to removing the primer is filled by DNA polymerase 1. But the primase is degraded, or the RNA fragment is degraded on leading strand by RNase H, while the same activity is done on lagging strand by this enzyme, DNA polymerase 1. So now we are going to focus on the role of DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase 1 is 103 kilodalton protein. This protein having two fragments, larger fragment and a smaller fragment. Okay, so large fragment, if you we cleave this protein into two parts, larger fragment is 68 kilodalton protein, and this fragment is called clino fragment, while smaller fragment of this enzyme is 35 kilodalton. So 68 plus 35 is 103 kilodalton. Okay, so total weight of the enzyme is 103 kilodalton divided into two parts, larger part and smaller part. This large part is known as clino fragment, having two important properties. This fragment of the DNA polymerase 1 enzyme able to perform synthesis, polymerization. This factor or this part having ability to copy the template strand, okay, and it also having proofreading activity, that is 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. This 3' to 5' activity of the DNA polymerase 1 is due to this large fragment, which is 68 kilodalton. Okay, now the small fragment, that is 35 kilodalton fragment, having 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. That means 5' to 3' activity is due to small fragment of the DNA polymerase 1 enzyme. Okay, this is all about the structure of the enzyme. Now, how this enzyme act? The main role of DNA polymerase 1 is on lagging strand. So, this is a lagging strand which run in 3' to 5' direction, for example. On lagging strand, at the end of elongation, you are going to get number of DNA fragments, and at the start of each DNA fragment, there is a primer, and this primer is RNA primer. So we have to remove this RNA primer, and for removing the RNA primer, DNA polymerase 1 enzyme come into the picture and bind in the nick where RNA primer start. Here you can see DNA polymerase 1 is attached at the start of primer. Okay, then this enzyme move in this direction, and then it degrade the RNA primer by using this activity, 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. That means DNA polymerase 1 remove the primer with the help of 35 kilodalton subunit, which having 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. Here you can see this is the 5' end and another is 3' end. So DNA polymerase move in 5' to 3' direction and degrade this primer by using this activity, 5' to 3' exonuclease activity. Once this primer is removed by DNA polymerase 1, simultaneously this part of the polymerase, which is 68 kilodalton and it is called as clino fragment, synthesize new DNA. Here you can see new DNA is produced. Okay, so this is the first fragment, first Okazaki fragment with a primer. Now in the second fragment, here you can see the primer is removed by polymerase and then simultaneously filled with DNA. So this activity is called synthesis, which is due to this 68 kilodalton larger portion of the enzyme. So in the same way, the enzyme will going to remove all the primers which are present in lagging strands, and at the time of removing the primer, enzyme fill the gap with DNA. Okay, this is the action of DNA polymerase 1 on lagging strand. But the problem till remain is that this enzyme cannot seal the gap. If the enzyme remove this primer and fill it with the DNA strand, same case for here, till the nick is remain in between adjacent fragment, Okazaki fragment, and to fill or to join that nick, next enzyme come into the picture, which is DNA ligase enzyme. Name itself suggests the ligase enzyme perform activity of joining two DNA fragments together. This is the well-known enzyme which is used most frequently in molecular biology lab in restriction digestion experiments. The EC number of the enzyme is 6.5.1.1. Okay, enzyme commission number, and this 6 itself suggests it is from the class ligase. We know that enzymes are generally classified into 6 classes: oxidoreductase, transferase, hydrolase, lyase, isomerase, and last is ligase. Ligase is number 6 class. So this first number from the enzyme commission catalog show the class of the enzyme. So this enzyme is belong to the ligase class. The ligase enzyme can join the nick which is present in two Okazaki fragments, and for joining purpose this enzyme catalyzes two-step reaction. I have shipped this template strand and lagging strand on which the gap is filled by DNA polymerase here. You can see the template strand, and now the lagging strand have all the DNA fragments because primer is removed by DNA polymerase 1, but till you can see the nick. There is a difference between gap and nick. Okay, here you can see nick. Okay, so now this nick having one 3' OH end, as this is 5', this end is 3', while other end is 5' phosphate. And someone have to join these two fragment together to complete the process of elongation. Okay, for that purpose, first of all, DNA ligase enzyme with the help of NAD as a cofactor combine itself with AMP. Initially, enzyme combine with AMP, adenosine monophosphate molecules, because this reaction require energy from ATP. So that the enzyme first combine with AMP, and now the enzyme having adenosine monophosphate molecule interact with the phosphate which is present at 5' end of one fragment. Now by nucleophilic attack, this enzyme combine this phosphate with 3' OH hydroxyl group which is present on adjacent fragment. And due to this, a bond is produced between 3' OH and 5' phosphate, which is called as ligation reaction. And in this bond, phosphodiester linkage is produced that will going to fill the link. Same reaction happen at different Okazaki fragments nick. So finally you are going to get new lagging strand which is intact, and it is very similar with the old DNA. So in this way, one lagging strand got its complementary strand. Okay, here, and similar thing happen on leading strand. In this way, at the end of elongation process, you will going to get two DNA from single DNA. Okay, so this is all about the role of DNA polymerase 1 and DNA ligase in the replication process. Now I am going to shift towards last and third stage of the replication. It is termination. Why we call it as a termination? Because this is the stage where the process of replication is stopped. Because one DNA converted into the two daughter DNA, now the replication process end in the termination. Before starting with the termination, you should consider the bacterial DNA. If the bacterial DNA is circular, covalently closed circle, in that case, if this is ORI C site, we know that 245 base pair site which is present on the bacterial DNA that act as an origin of replication site. If from this site a bubble is produced in the initiation phase, and this is DNA B protein on one strand and the same protein on another strand, then this protein move in this direction while the second protein move in this direction from the same point. That means one replication fork move in this direction and another move in opposite direction. Replication fork contain DNA polymerase 3 enzyme that will going to copy the DNA into two daughter DNA. Okay, so the replication process move in one direction in one replication fork and in opposite direction in another replication fork. Now what happened? Both this replication fork will going to meet at some point because DNA is circular. Okay, but actually before meeting the two fork, one fork must be stop the process, because in one fork if the DNA replication is inhibited or the process of replication is stopped, at that time second fork can easily meet to the stationary fork and the process can be terminated. So how this exactly happened? We are going to see that part in termination. Now bacterial DNA like E. coli have number of conserved site, 23 to 25 base pair site on the DNA, and these sites, for example, here you can see one site, two site, third site. Okay, now this site is called TER site. TER, termination sites. There are multiple termination sites which is present on the bacterial DNA. Now you can see this TER site is directly take part in inhibiting or terminating the process of replication. If this is TER A, then there is C, D, many termination sites which is present on the bacterial DNA. But this site only signal the termination process. Okay, but this site is not directly involved in inhibiting the replication process. A special type of a protein is required which bind to this TER site and inhibit the process. That protein is called TUS protein, TUS, TUS protein. This TUS protein recognize the termination site which is present on the bacterial DNA and bind to that particular TER site. Now, for example, this is the TUS protein which recognize the termination site and get attached to the termination site. Multiple TUS protein attached to each termination site. After binding of TUS protein, what is TUS? Termination utilization substrate. After binding of the TUS protein on the termination site, TUS complex is produced. Now this complex is actually involved in inhibiting the process of replication. Now what happened? This TER protein, the TUS protein which is bound on the TER site having two different sites. First site which is on this portion, it is called permissive site. Permissive site. While the other site, other flat site for example, is called non-permissive site. What is permissive and non-permissive? Permissive site of the TUS protein allow replication fork along with DNA polymerase 3 to pass through TUS protein. While the non-permissive site do not allow the replication fork to pass. Okay, this is very important because if this replication fork A move in this direction, it can easily pass from permissive site and go towards next portion of the DNA. And similar thing for this B fork. If this B fork first encounter this TUS protein, it also have permissive and non-permissive sites. So this fork can easily pass through this permissive site and move forward. Okay. Now what happened? This fork will going to stop at this site while fork A will going to pass from this TUS protein and going to stop at this site. Okay. So in this way the fork can be, the movement of fork can be inhibited at TUS protein by TUS protein at terminator site and the process of replication is stopped. How exactly this TUS protein inhibit the movement of fork? For example, non-permissive site of the TUS protein have ability to flip open the nucleotide. If this is nucleotide 1 and nucleotide 2 which is close to non-permissive site of TUS protein, this TUS protein will going to just rotate this nucleotide and change their orientation like this. If they flip open by TUS protein non-permissive site, due to this condition, when this fork pass through the first TUS and reach to the non-permissive site of second TUS, at that time due to this flip opening of the nucleotide, the protein DNA B protein of this fork will not going to recognize this portion of the DNA, and due to which the action of DNA, helicase action of the DNA protein will going to inhibit, and due to inhibition of DNA B protein, the movement of fork is inhibited. Okay, same thing happened at this site. This site is a non-permissive site of TUS protein. It will also going to flip open the nucleotide, which will going to inhibit the action of DNA B on, which is present in A replication fork. In this way, two replication fork which is moving in opposite direction simultaneously on a circular chromosome of the prokaryote stop at a specific site which is called as TER site, and that TER site is bound with a special protein called TUS protein. Okay, so in today's lecture we have finished with role of DNA polymerase 1 in removing primer from lagging strand and at the same time it fill the gap with the DNA. Then DNA ligase seal the nick which is present in between different Okazaki fragments by carrying the reaction involved ATP. Okay, and in the last portion we see the termination of the prokaryotic DNA replication. It occurred due to the special site present on the DNA called TER site, and this replication inhibition occur by with the help of a protein called TUS protein. From my next lecture, I'm going to start the process of transcription. In that, there are three important stages: initiation, elongation, and termination. First of all, I'm going to focus on initiation of transcription. Thank you.